This headline from Global News is so misleading. It reads, Calgary police assure Muslim community they will be safe ahead of controversial protests. Now, do you know what controversial protests Global News is talking about there? Well, the one they really should be focusing on is held by the radical Muslim community and their left-wing anti-Semitic enablers. They're holding an Al-Quds Day rally at Calgary City Hall. Al-Quds Day, for those of you who don't know, was founded by the Ayatollah Khomeini as an Iranian national and now global day to end the state of Israel. Yeah, it's a call to genocide. Remember Khomeini? He's the death to America guy, and he says it's every Muslim's religious duty to fight for the end of the state of Israel. But that's not the controversial protest Global is referring to. No, it's one of these ones where local Jewish groups and the Jewish Defense League are going to Calgary City Hall to show the Al-Quds Day people, whose rally is based on an Iranian call to genocide, that the Jews have a right to exist. It seems reasonable. I've actually been to this event last year. The Jews and their allies sing "O Canada" and they hold up signs about democracy, but that's what Global thinks is controversial. And apparently the Calgary police are worried that because of the pro-Jewish presence, the Muslim groups who are calling for genocide, well, they're going to be a little uncomfortable. This is what the Calgary police said, and I quote, "The purpose here is this has caused angst among our Muslim community, and really, I want to assure them that we will have a presence there and they will be safe." I love cops, I do, but their bosses suck. I'm appalled at how political this policing has all become. And here's why. The targets of hate and violence at these sorts of pro-Palestinian rallies in Calgary aren't Muslims at all. It's the Jews. Look at this video of a pro-Palestinian activist in Calgary. Here. Yeah, he's shouting Nazi slogans at Jews across the faces of Calgary police officers. So yeah, Calgary police are fully aware that Jews are the targets, the victims, not the perpetrators. Now, what you saw there was gross, but it gets worse. In fact, the only violence that ever broke out at a pro-Palestinian event in Calgary was when a Jewish family was beaten and sent to the hospital when pro-Palestinian anti-Semitic lunatics crossed the street and attacked them in an act of mob violence because they were Jews. Just look at this video.
General didn't care. I wonder if anyone cares in Canada in 2015 that a family of peaceful Canadian Jews were beat up in the city streets. At the Sun News Network, we interviewed several of the riot victims. I've paid attention to this since it happened last July. What if...
Yeah, that's not Gaza. That's in front of Calgary City Hall. That incident resulted in 3 criminal convictions of 3 adults and another criminal conviction for a young offender. And none of the charges were for hate crimes, even though this Jewish family was beaten for being pro-Israeli. So why are the cops singling out Muslims as potential targets of violence here? Shouldn't they be assuring the Jews that they'll be safe, given they were the actual victims of violence and hate at these very rallies in the past? And given the fact that Al-Quds Day is about ridding the earth of Jews altogether? Look, I think everyone has a right to protest and rally. Calgary is not Tehran. I don't even want the hateful, genocidal Al-Quds Day events canceled. Free speech for all, even the truly awful. But the cops, or rather their bosses, in their attempt to reduce public safety to a social justice cause, well, they're blaming the victims in the media for standing up for themselves. It's gross. And imagine if you got all your news from the mainstream media, you'd never know who the real victims of hate in Calgary are. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. The mainstream media tells you one side of the story. I tell you the other side. You know, the truth. To never miss a story, be sure to subscribe to our Rebel Canada YouTube page.